Welcome back, guys, to another Foo-ology podcast. I'm here with the homie Eddie, and we got a special guest today. Interesting special guest here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Kiyahuitl. I'm a disque influencer on social media. I was born and raised in Santa Barbara, California. Raised by campesinos, by my parents that are from la zona norte de Guerrero. So first Mexican American generation of my family here.
Oh, that's what's up. How was so you spent most of your like childhood over here, or did you spend some time out there in Mexico?
When I was born, they took me, like literalmente, when I was born, they took me to Mexico to see my grandparents, and then it was just kind of like back and forth, going back to the pueblo every now and then. And the last time I was there, I was like 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So but I still remember how my parents' pueblo was. It was just dirt roads, just very poverty, dog. It was just poverty.
It was like
like
ranchero or or worse, like
just pueblo. Just like
pueblito.
you know what I mean? Like it wasn't even a rancho, dog. It was just a bunch of some adobe houses, some made out of brick. Like there's no sidewalks. It was all tierra. It was just. I kind of missed it to look like that, to be honest.
Damn.
That's what we were talking about the other time, bro. It's like because my mom is from Nayarit, so she's from a small like pueblo too in Nayarit, right? And when I was a kid, when we visit there, man, I would be like, "Fuck, man, this is it's like no paved roads, nothing, you know." So you're like, in your mind, you're like, "Fuck, man, I don't want to be here." But now as you get older, you realize, like, God damn, that might be the key to life right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, like when the older people, they go and they live their life again over there. Like my aunt, rest in peace. She came to Santana when she was in the 70s. She was 18.
Yeah.
She was the first one in this city. And then and then she brought everybody over because there's like 9 kids. So my mom is the youngest. So my mom came in the 90s. And what I realized was she moved back after she retired. She was already like 60, and she was like just went to go live over there, and immediately, bro, her health went up just being in the nature, in the dirt. Every time she came out here,
Well,
her health goes down, man. Her health went down.
I think it might have been just it's just how things are over here, right? Like, I think como los Tigres del Norte, they've said it before, in a song where they're like, es una jaula de oro,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
I heard that.
And
It's a good song.
and we were back in Mexico, pues, if you live on the countryside of Mexico, pues you feel free, like you feel free.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
exactly right. Because when my friends go to Mexico, my family members, and I went one time, and it was like, yeah, bro, it felt like you're more free, bro. Like not too many people are like, or not just criticizing, but just like, I don't know, the environment, the atmosphere, the atmosphere's hella different, bro. Like everybody's like more
pachangas at 3 in the morning, full blast. You know what I mean, with música and all that shit.
Yeah,
the neighborhood don't say nothing. Here, fool, you could have music at like a las 9, a las 10, y ya.
Yeah, right.
So you get noise complaint.
There you go.
And like that's not really like freedom, dog. That's not really enjoying life. It's like you have a curfew in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
About how much you can do or what you can do. For example, like there's even laws like in California and various other states where we can't necessarily just get up and leave and live in the mountains if we wanted to. In Mexico, you can't. Like if you decide to live it up in the mountains for a whole fucking month, however you want to live it, you can, as long as it's not someone's property or some shit,
Yeah.
But that's
No, that's true. There's so many laws. You can't even sleep in your car. Over here, you get arrested.
Yeah.
Out here, you can't.
They give you a ticket.
You can't even collect rainwater. You can't.
Almost
like grow your own shit. It's
Holy
like
shit,
everything is just to trap you in the system.
God.
Yeah. That's pretty much what the laws are, bro. Like if you really think about it, like if you think about it in a colonial aspect, like all these laws, they're meant to protect us, which some are meant to protect us as people, but sometimes those type of laws where you can't have like an agricultural front yard or you know what I mean, like you can't collect rainwater, things of that nature. It's like why can I not do that? Is it because you guys are trying to? Is it because those laws are meant to kind of like makes us fall into them in a sense that they want us to we feel como te diría, we feel like we need the government in a sense, you know, like we
Yeah.
need
Oh, like
Like
we're
we depending
dependent.
on
There you
them.
go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, dependent on the government. Why we can't necessarily do all those things that you just stated, you know,
Yeah, it's like
and
oh, sorry to cut you off, but it's like that one saying where you give them a foot and they take a mile. It's like
yeah,
through these whole laws, they'll be like, all right, we'll just do this law here, and then everybody just gets so adapt to it, and they're like, the government just keeps saying, you know what, we're gonna make some more laws. They're not gonna do anything about it,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
they
yeah.
just
yeah,
make more fucking laws, and it's like, God, when is it gonna stop, bro?
Yeah,
yeah,
like supposedly back in the day they had the revolution based off of taxes and tea and all this, and nowadays it's coming out like they just almost all that shit's almost made up. Is what I've heard from certain people who study the histories. Like a lot of the histories made to seem like this heroic story of people, but it's all just a bunch of lies. But anyway,
yeah.
supposedly they did the Boston Tea Party because of the taxes and all this shit.
Mm,
And nowadays, like all the taxes and everything is like way more than even what compared to back then. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like the amount of government overreach that made people rebel was so little back then, but now it's like everybody's just so used to it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I think well back I don't know, if I had to put my mind in that time, I would think that, you know, they're trying to develop a country, you know, like all the wealthy people, in particular the white people, of course. Um, you know, they were just looking out for themselves at that time. So that rebellion was not necessarily for the people, it was more so for the wealthy and the ones that had the political power at that time. Now
Yeah,
I
for
think,
sure.
and now in modern day time, I feel that a lot of the populations are actually afraid of the government. You know, I think a lot of the
Mhm.
times people don't want to stand up because they feel like, well, if I stand up, all I'm going to do is get locked up. You know, it's like, for example, like that dude, what's that fool, Alex Enamorado. You know,
Oh yeah,
Mm,
like
mhm.
might have not done things, I guess, so to say, properly, but he was trying to do something right, and he was doing it out of, who knows, maybe he started initially out of good heart, but after, who knows what it could have developed, right? Things
Damn.
change over time. But look at that, bro. The people were lo estaban apoyando when he was out. Now that he's in there, like, you know what I mean? Like, where's the apoyo? That's an example right there, bro. Like, there's many people like Alex Enamorado, you know, that we may not even know of. And they just instantly get locked up, bro. Like, you know what I mean? The government doesn't necessarily want something like that. They don't want political movements, you know.
Mhm.
Sometimes they'll let little political movements that it's not like non-militant, non of like active in a sense. So like the government's not afraid of the brown berets, at least not anymore, you know. And I'm pretty sure the Black Panther movement is still around somewhat in some other countries. I think I did see something about that recently, about the Black Panther movement trying to like come back,
Yeah,
you know.
what I think they're like they're in New York. Or I forgot the guy's name, but he's like with the Black Panthers, and he's like out there like trying to like help people out, and he's like, it doesn't matter what race, but we're just here to help everybody out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck, I
yeah.
think they're in New York or something
Oh,
like that. Yeah, I follow that guy. Fuck, I forgot his name.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't think the government's necessarily afraid of that right now. You know, I think,
Hmm.
yeah, it's just people are just afraid, bro. They're afraid to lose
Yeah.
their so-called freedom that we have. You know,
Yeah.
which
Exactly
in
right. Yeah. They're just yeah, people are definitely, I think, more scared than ever too, because they just see the social media. Whatever happens, like if you speak bad about this government or that government, they're gonna come after you. And then there's perfect examples of people like getting assassinated from for just
hmm
talking and trying to fight for the people, which is crazy as hell. But that's like kind of the world we live in right now.
yeah.
But I
It,
feel like
it,
I was hearing a podcast, the Sean Ryan show, and he was like, he had some guests going against like Israel, and he said that he feels like there's hope coming, like because all this shit that's happening with Israel and all these politicians, basically not, what is like 90 90% of them or 95% of them take money from Apex, and now
Mhm.
people like the podcast that on YouTube channels that speak the truth and want to change for the better for everybody, not just for us, but for everybody, every race, bro. Like we just want to live, bro. Live happily, and
Yeah.
without all these freaking like these whack ass laws, and you can't do this, and then also too, the media is really, and we always talk about it, the media is really good at dividing people, and that's their number one
That's a
thing, bro.
fact right there.
And
No,
now it's like when a politician says it's the Democrats, it's the Republicans, bro. I'm like, I'm not listening to this fool. This fool doesn't even know what he's talking about. He's paid, bro. He's paid,
Yeah.
So that's
I don't really know I don't really get involved in all that because like I have a kind of like a poor view out of society. Like how I view the society is not really the optimistic. You know?
yeah.
So I don't trust neither the liberals or the none of that shit. I don't
Yeah.
trust none of them because if we are in all truth, bro, like at least for me, I'm so to say, in the eyes of the governments of today, I am a foreigner, but I'm not a foreigner in the sense of ancestrally, ancestral wise.
that's where
I'm
we're coming from. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm indigenous and things of that nature. So my people were here before any of these countries were here in Latin America or North America, however you want to call it, But like I said, in a sense of today, I would be foreign in this land, so to say, So, and I know that their history is not my history, dog.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like
That's what's up.
the founding fathers were not definitely thinking of people like myself. You know what I mean? Like,
Definitely not. Yeah.
it was a room full of white people, dog, wealthy, political white people.
Mhm.
Just looking out for their own interest. They were not They were not really in concern of like humanity in a sense.
Mhm. There you
Damn,
go.
and that gets me.
So
That gets to another point that I want to talk about. But first, I think I want to really ask you, because came across your profile, came across all your video clips, and I'm like, man, what got you into the Nahuatl language and speaking and teaching people, and how did you get started in social media? I mean, you've got a big account, man. Like,
yeah. Boy, I had a friend. Well, this shit goes kind of like it
goes
goes way
far back.
back and real far back. When I was like 18, that's when I started to realize my indigenous ancestry because I was indoctrinated, dog. Like I think most Mexican Americans are indoctrinated to believe like we're just Mexican or American, right?
Like, identity
And
struggle.
yeah, identity struggle for sure.
Neither
And then
here or there, right?
Yeah,
type of
100%.
type of that experiences and yeah, we can get into that, but after well, I started when I was young, and then I obviously far in the future, COVID started. Everybody stay inside y toda esa madre. I was on TikTok. I had a friend that was telling me like, "Oh, get TikTok," and I was like, "Nah." And eventually, I gave in to this fool after like a month of him telling me to get it. And I got it, and then I got was hooked, dog. Like, just looking at the fucking random ass videos and shit. And then I started to come across like indigenous like posts, and I would just see people like Dene, people from Canada, Ojibwe, Lakota, people, indigenous communities from up here from from United States, I should say, in Canada. And I was like, and I didn't really see actual representation of us, dog. You know what I mean? I didn't see representation of us as as people from Mesoamerica or Mexico or whatever you want,
Even
name
like
it
Southern
as.
California, like from out here.
Nah, I didn't see none of that. But that was my algorithm. But quién sabe, a lo mejor sí había or whatever. So I just started posting. I'm like, fuck, the fuck, you ain't the only motherfuckers that are indigenous, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like, so I just started coming out with my shit. And then I knew about Nahuatl, but I never was engaged in it. But then I started to see like white people, white Mexicans, like say, like trying to share Nahuatl. And I was like, what the fuck?
You're like, oh hell no.
Like kind of shit it is. Like they're
Yeah.
trying to jack my culture, you
Trying
know.
to drag my swag.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So that kind of provoked me to do, share a Nahuatl word. I would just share the Nahuatl word, whether it was a verb or a noun. And then I had, other Mexican Americans that spoke Nahuatl, a variant, modern variant of Nahuatl. Majority of them were actually, if not all of them, they were all like Huasteca speakers, Huasteca Nahuatl speakers,
And for the people who
and
don't know, like, what's the distinctions of those dialects?
well, these are just modern variants of today. There's various variants. I think there's like 32, somewhere between 32 to 38 official Nahuatl variants of Mexico that they're
Okay.
all derived from Nahuatl, whether it's Eastern, Central, or Western Nahuatl, and it varies from region to region, right? Like it's just like how Northern California speaks different from people from Los Angeles, and Los Angeles speaks different from people from Central Coast. We all have our own little slang terminologies and things like that, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. It's variants change over the mountain, so to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. That, you know what?
Yeah.
That the one thing that reminds me of that too is I know India too has a lot of languages in small places, but I also think an interesting place, even though it's not indigenous, I think England is super interesting in the way you go to the next city, they have a whole nother fucking accent. You can barely
Yeah.
understand each other. So I think that's kind of how what you said with so many different variants and all this, like how people in these small places, like how they just come up with the different type of way of saying things or speaking.
Yeah, yeah. I strongly believe, like for me, in a perspective, since I've been doing this for like, I don't know, nearly 6 years, I guess. And since then, like from starting from just sharing a single word, and then actually applying prefixes and object prefixes and suffixes and locative suffixes, plural suffixes, fucking intransitive verbs,
Damn.
transitive verbs, bitransitive verbs. Un desmadre, güey, linguistically,
Yeah. Sound like a teacher right
I
now,
know.
bro.
No, I guess
A
you are.
maestro.
You are.
Yeah.
The education is
Well,
profile.
Well, the only reason why all this shit happened, bro, is because I'm a very, very prideful individual, dog. Like, and it could be a bad connotation or a good connotation. I don't know,
Yeah.
But since I was being attacked by like modern Nahuatl speakers that were Huasteca people, I was like, fuck no, like you guys don't know me, like you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
me rajo, bro. Like whenever, see, I'm a prove you wrong type of individual, dog.
Yeah.
Like some people may not care, but sometimes I do. Sometimes, bro, and when there's somebody says continuously saying something to me, it does affect me, in a negative or positive way. So in this instance, I changed that negativity into a positive. I was like, okay, I'm gonna show you then, Me voy a poner bien más perro que tú, güey,
And now you're
So,
teaching it almost, huh?
yeah, I'm teaching it. I teach it, and pues, I made a book.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I seen
Yeah.
the book.
Yeah, I made a book, and that book was, I even said it right there in my, like, dedication. I also dedicated to my haters, if it wasn't for you guys.
And where could you
Like,
purchase the book, bro?
but so right now, fortunately, exclusively on Amazon, bro.
Nice. Okay.
I
And
know
what's the
that
name of your book?
It's 1,000 phrases in Huehue Nahuatl Tlachtoli.
And I was reading that. Yeah, I was reading that through the link that you have right there on your page, and it says that's a certain ancient, not ancient, but like it's an older version of Nahuatl, right?
Ancestral. Yeah, it's like it's so to say. It's some parts are post colonial, and then a lot of it is also like before colonialism, right? So there's like different customs that weren't there necessarily at first. Like for example, I don't know if you guys ever come around. This is a word that you typically see on social media, which is like when people say like "I love you," it means "tlasohtla."
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's post colonial.
I get you.
Like it wasn't common for indigenous people of Mesoamerica to say to one another, "I love you." It wasn't in that manner. It wasn't in that aspect. I think, I think it was more of a of how much you are generous towards someone. You know how
Mm,
well you get along. It was more of felt and expressed rather than to be said.
I get you. I
interesting.
get you. I get you. So it's like, would you compare it to like how they say well, I don't know, the Greeks have like five different ways of saying I love you or expressing love in different ways, like fraternal, familial, romantic, or is it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's very. I mean, I think a lot. I mean, all three of us right here, bro. We're all, and I'm pretty sure the majority of the viewers are. We're all corrupted into some extent, right?
Hmm.
Because we were educated in a certain way. You know,
Yeah,
they made us only believe that your happiness is from wealth, having a
Oh,
house, having a car, having
sheesh.
a job, having all of this shit. And that's gonna be your happiness. That's the happiness. That's the ultimate goal. But it's like, what the fuck? This is life, bro. Like
Damn.
the homeless man downtown could be the most happiest person in the world.
we
Damn.
talked
That's a
about that too
hell
here.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah. Yeah.
that's
You
kind of
know what
where
I
we
mean?
come
Yeah,
from.
It's
man.
just
Yeah, people that have all that like billionaires. They they have all the money in the world, but they're fucking miserable inside and they just want to die or some
yeah,
shit. All
yeah,
these fools are yeah, it's like crazy cuz I mean when man, yeah, people could find their true happiness like just do something that you like they what's that word? It's so always like cliche to say like do something you love to do. They always say that shit, but I think it comes to you in some way or form, bro. Like the universe and God, they somehow find you. They find you basically, and they guide you to the thing that you like, or I don't know. It
Yeah, I
works
get
in
you. I get
mysterious
you.
ways, but it's really beautiful.
Yeah, like
But that's going back on the the fools that are fucking miserable, the billionaires and all them, bro.
yeah,
For everybody that's watching, it's like try something new, and maybe that could be your passion.
yeah, yeah. But I think a lot
From
of, I mean, us as people or human beings or whatever, we always grow. I think we're always growing, bro. Our passions always change, because a lot of us are still seeking that happiness, and that whatever that empty void in us makes us continuar, or some of us give in to that void. But for the most part, like, damn, I want to be a dad, or I want to be a family man, or I want to be a businessman, I want to be wealthy. People strive for that emptiness that we all carry, bro. And it's
so I like that. I like that.
and
That's a good one.
and then spiritually, también, a lot of us have the reason. We all want to have like a purpose in life. We all want to have a purpose. So most of us also do look for that, a purpose in life. Why was I born? What was the purpose of my birth? You know, do I want to just live a so-called ordinary life, or do I want to make an impact to my community, or my impact to
mm,
to the state that I'm from, or whatever? People just seek many things, and a lot of people go, you know,
yeah,
different ways about it.
that's yeah, definitely right. Yeah, because I think it's as you get older, you kind of like almost you find yourself and you want to like you said, do you want to help people out? Do you want to help my city out? You want to help like my culture, and it's a beautiful thing to see because we see a lot of like I don't know if we inspire or I'm sure you inspire a lot of people that hear us and they want to start their own podcast or they want to do this and that or they go out try to find something they like to do and we've been seeing it we always talk about it but not always talk about it but we talk about it and say that we see people doing things that they like to do more like I don't know I just people that follow like Foo-ology whatever they're always like seems like they're always like not always but hiking or doing something, like in
Yeah,
nature.
Well, that brings me back to that point. Yeah, like it's like why we even started this. I met the homie here in Santa Ana College. We were doing like took a video class. Like I took a bunch of classes that
hmm
I was interested in. Like audio, video, whatever. Something that I like. I was never
videography.
yeah, videography, audio,
Editing.
digital media, all that kind of shit. I was always interested in it, but I was never good at school. Like me personally, I always failed everything. Like
No te
I'm a
agüites, güey, ya está bien.
no. But I say that to say I think that's a good thing. Like I say that with pride because to be a successful failure is like the highest beings that ever came in the world were all successful failures. Like
Mhm.
whatever spiritual being, the amount of influence they had, ultimately, they were successful on their path, but they failed in terms of you can't reach everybody. You know what I mean? And you know that from the second you start something, you're not going to reach everybody. You might not get your ultimate goal, but it's just that effort that you put into that goal, which
Mhm.
fulfills you. You know, so that's what I got to a point where I'm like, you know what, man, we got all these skills, and we're not putting it to work. You know, like I have all these skills, and I'm over here doing shitty ass jobs, odd jobs. I'm like,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
feel fucking miserable. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I got to take these skills and at least
Ap-
spread a good message.
Yeah.
apply it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Apply
then
it.
that shit makes me feel more fulfilled. Whether it's people like it, they don't like it.
Yeah,
It's
But
like out of my hands.
yeah,
yeah, but
bro.
yeah, it's out of our hands, dog.
Yeah,
Because like
Yeah.
I have a gang of haters that don't necessarily like me, like from the Chicano or Mexican American, well, primarily Chicano community, dog.
yeah.
And
I
it's
don't like
crazy
that
how
shit.
it's crazy how our own people be just fucking hitting more on our own race, bro. It's like the fuck's wrong with you, you know?
The good thing though, the good thing about it is, about 4 or 5 years ago, we actually started this podcast. But
Uh huh.
for me, I this is more of a spiritual understanding. It's like so when you start something and you put your energy into it with like genuine energy,
Mm-hmm.
the universe gives you resistance almost right away. It's almost you can map it out. Like it's almost like you can hit the same notes and you know that you're gonna go through those same hurdles. And I went through some hurdles, which kind of knocked us off our path for a bit,
Yeah,
you know,
for sure it did.
because I
Yeah.
went through some hurdles in your life. And then before we started up again, because we stopped for a bit, and then before we started up again, I told the homie, I'm like, bro, before we start this, we got to know that there's certain notes that we're going to hit. It's inevitable. Like
Yeah.
when you put your energy out there, when people respond to it, you're going to hit those notes. And those notes are, uh, when you don't know the road, they're surprises and it can knock you off the path. And the biggest surprise is some of the people you think are not going to hate, they're going to hate. That's like
Yeah.
that's a note that you're going to hit no matter what you do in life. When you put your
Yeah.
energy out there, the people who you least expect are going to be against you. They're going to show moments of being almost against you, but
Yeah.
you kind of have to look past it and then keep moving forward. But for me, that was a big hurdle that I didn't know how to take because I was in a relationship, long-term relationship.
Yeah.
And then when
Yeah.
I started seeing this resistance, I'm like, oh shit, like I thought everybody's gonna be supportive, like
Yeah.
perfectly supportive. I thought everything was gonna go perfect. But it's like, you hit those notes, you hit that same map. And then now when we did it again, we hit those notes. Like you hit that shit, you're like, I expect something's gonna go against me,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
expect
Yeah. So
like I'm just waiting for
It's
it.
just like that, but
Well, you know
Love-
what? You know why that
Yeah.
is? I think there's two reasons of why that is. Like, I think you have the common sense that you're obviously not gonna please everybody, but also I think before that is that you've always kind of been in survival mode living in the United States, dog.
In a
You
way,
know
yeah.
that shit don't go nice for us, you know.
yeah.
So it's
But
kind of like the reason why we act in the manner. I mean, I act in the manner the way that I do, and I think I would like to think that most people think or similar to the way that I foresee the society, you know. Because my experience is different from for being a heavy melanated quote unquote Mexicano,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Mexican American. I faced a lot of colorisms. I'm pretty sure some of you guys.
mm,
I would like to think Martin faced a lot of colorism.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
for
know,
sure. Yeah.
Got that curly
yeah,
hair.
yeah. I look
yeah,
different, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So you know, so because of that, like I spoke about colorism. There was a time when I was speaking about colorism, dude, and just saying like, yeah, we might be all country folk people, like we're all disque Mexicanos, Mexicanos, Americanos and stuff like that, but that don't mean that we're the same people.
Mhm.
It's like I don't know what it is about Mexican Americans want to believe an identity of unity amongst each other, but in reality, that's an illusion, bro. Because we have the privilege to live in the United States, right? And we know that everybody's primarily American within this country, right? That's our automatic thought. And we know that the white Americans, the black Americans, the Asian Americans, the Polynesians, all etc. We know that they're not our people, dog,
Yeah.
because of the
Yeah.
diversity, right?
Yeah.
Well, Mexico is a diverse country también. Like it's a very diverse country too. But for whatever odd reason, Mexican Americans or Chicanos have this like view over Mexico with this, oh, we're all the same people, somos raza, like, stuff like that. That type of mentality to me is dangerous, bro, because it ignores the social issues that we have in our community, which is classism, colorism, and primarily those. There's a form of racism, and erases and ignores the struggle of those people that are Afro descent or indigenous descent of Mesoamerica. So whenever when somebody from Jalisco that looks straight up fucking European and be like, yeah, viva la raza, it's like, who you saying it to, dog? Like, which raza, my G? Because I look at you and I know, you know what I mean? You ain't my people, my G. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why for me, I don't say that, I don't say that phrase anymore, any longer. But, I have definitely when I was younger, but as the age that I'm at, nah, just because of that reason, you know what I mean? Because I mean, bro, come on, dog. Like the most racism that I faced growing up came from my own people, my own disque Mexicanos or Latino, and I know that white people are racist too, but they weren't racist as much as my own people, dog. Disque my own people,
And
Damn.
yeah, that goes back to the identity thing that we're gonna touch on. I think this is something I noticed with a lot of the new, not even new. It's been for hundreds of years, bro. The attack on the Mexican identity. It's like there's a quote that I always like because it took me a while to understand this quote because I didn't know. I think I was always kind of like halfway retarded almost as a kid because it's
That was
like
me.
almost like I took everything for face value. I didn't know people were such fucking easily liars and shit.
Oh yeah,
I was
yeah.
almost like dumb, but I
You
think
weren't.
that
You weren't. I don't think you were dumb, dog. I think you know what it was. I think it was just your innocence
the
of the fact
childhood
that,
Yeah, the
innocence.
child. There you
is,
go.
you know what I mean. You're trying. You see the world at that time like very beautiful. You think every person is good or has the capability of being good. So you were naive. I was
Yeah.
naive too. I
I
was
think we
naive
all were.
too.
Yeah.
But in a way,
That's
that's the end goal too. In a way, I think like I bring up these ancient texts like the Bible and stuff like not because
yeah.
I'm like Eurocentric, but because like I know human beings always kind of wrote down truths that are for across the world. These truths are you find them everywhere, and I think like quotes like the kingdom of God is the kingdom of God. You have to become like a child to enter the kingdom of God, right? So I
I've
think
heard of that.
like what you described as when you were in the childhood mindset, that innocence, right? You are in the kingdom, but then you like in the story of Adam and Eve when they take the bite of knowledge, you become aware of the new, you become aware of the world and some of the darkness, and then now it's a journey back to where you started from, like
Yeah.
the spiritual journey back to
Damn.
where you started from as a child to enter the kingdom again because you
Yeah.
left it when you search for knowledge. So I think these stories kind of give you little hints at that. And why I bring that up is because I feel like I was so naive as a person, and then it just warps your whole identity, and then you get hit with those those harsh realities. And it's kind of like what we try to do here. We try to give people that knowledge, but to send them back into that ultimate state of the childhood,
Yeah.
seeing things
Yeah.
brand new.
I know what you're saying, but I think that's a difficult thing to do though, bro. Because like I'm not religious.
No,
I
no, it's not
mean,
about
Yeah.
religion.
Yeah.
I'm spiritual, but I don't believe like religion. Like I don't believe in Buddhism. I don't believe in Christianity or Catholicism. You know, none of that. Like all those religions that came from the other side of the world, I don't believe in that because it's like why is their belief is more valuable than what my ancestors believed in? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I know what you're discussing about because at one point I was born into a Catholic family, and then over time I became a Christian and became agnostic. I believed there was a greater being, but I just didn't want to believe in Bible scriptures or any of the sort, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's just my experience. I don't tell people, oh, don't believe in what you want to believe in this, you know, because
Yeah.
then that
Yeah.
would make me no different from the colonizer, dog.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Yeah.
but I see what you're saying though. Like it's like, como por ejemplo, it's difficult to get to that point in a literal manner because once we are affected with experience or knowledge of something and you're really good at it, how can you forget it? You know, I don't know if you guys know how to ride a bike, but if you guys know how to ride a bike, that
Mhm.
is knowledge
Yeah, I like that. I like
and
that.
wisdom to ride a bike. It's an
You
experience
can't
y
forget it.
todo, right?
Yeah, for sure.
If you stop for 20 years not riding a bike and you're like some fucking, I don't know, 60 years old and you get on a bike, you're going to, you know,
You gotta
how can you
remember.
forget that?
Yeah.
And we may have childlike behaviors, but we will never be a child because of that being, I guess, so to say, corrupted or influenced,
Damn.
things like that. um, but I mean, that's just my view or my thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
Yeah. What I think the ultimate points we get at here on this podcast, I think it's always we tap back into spirituality, and everybody has their own take on it. For me, obviously, like you said, you grow up almost like passively Catholic because that's just the culture that they created.
Mhm.
But then after a certain amount of time, I realized that's not really for me. And then because once you that's like a kindergarten level spirituality, you know, like Catholicism, like it's like
Yes,
kindergarten shit. That's what they
kindergarten
feed.
shit, huh?
That's what they feed the masses to listen, right? To fall in line, to listen. Like, oh, this is good, this is bad. Be afraid of the devil, you know?
Yeah.
When in reality,
The
you are
Pope
the
is like,
devil.
"What do you mean? What do you mean?" It's the kids.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
In reality, yeah, you are the devil and you are God. You are the best and you are the worst. And everybody has that in them, you know?
Yeah, of course.
That's
Yeah,
true
and
across the world.
and that's something that Mesoamerican belief has, dog. You know, they always talk about like the duality of things. You know, life, death, fullness, emptiness. You know, happy, sad. You
All the
know, things of
emotions.
that.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, all
Yeah.
of that.
All
So
that.
they speak of that of all that, but then they also have their deities or their creators or gods. I don't know. People like to put different titles on that type of idea or concept. Um, but yeah, that's not sort of say unique to Catholicism or Christianity, bro. Like that's always been something like that's been a part of us as humans. It's always we are
Yeah.
we are disque violent creatures. Well, we are actually, but I'm talking about like ancestral human beings, so the Homo sapiens, the first
Yeah.
generations of Homo sapiens, and you know what I mean, like
The animal brain.
yeah, and
You know, yeah.
they had to be violent, dog, in order to survive.
Yeah.
If you really had to think about it, they had to do things that modern day Homo sapiens wouldn't want to do.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
just like
mean,
the jungle, bro. Like
The
you go
jungle
in the
shit.
jungles and, someone's gonna eat you or something's gonna eat you, try to
Yeah,
eat you,
yeah. But like
And
you
yeah,
said,
yeah.
yeah.
that's why I got into after the after I got away from Catholicism, I feel
Hmm.
like the closest thing to truth would be yourself being silent with yourself, which would be like a form of meditation. And I got into it through running, because running is a good way where you're with yourself
Yeah.
and you learn how to engage with your thoughts that don't matter and the thoughts that matter. And ultimately, it's just about focusing on your breath, you know? So then that translates to meditating. And then meditating opened up a whole new world about um, seeing past identity, because I do think this goes back into what we're talking about with identity and Mexicans, and
Yeah.
everybody's attacking Mexicans, and it brings me back to a quote that I never said, which is the quote is from Carl Jung. He said, um, "If you don't know who you are, the world will tell you." And it's like that's where I was in my innocence, in my naivety about the world. I didn't really know who I was, and I was expecting the world to tell me. And I think a lot of people are in that place where
Hell
they're like,
yeah.
where
Hell
they're like, "Oh
yeah.
yeah, I'm Mexican, I'm indigenous, oh I'm this, I'm that," and so you wait for the world to tell you who you are because you don't know who you are. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like you see the Mexican culture as a whole, and that's where they're at. Everybody is trying to tell Mexicans who they are because they don't know who they are. So you go through
Mm.
the comment section of all of our videos. They're always like, "Oh, Mexicans are European. Oh, nah, you're not indigenous because you don't have a tribe. Oh, no, Mexicans are indigenous." So everybody is trying to get this group of people with no identity and
Mhm.
trying to impose an identity upon them.
Yeah.
Where it's like our message here is conquer yourself. We
Mhm.
always say that again. A true
Yeah.
figure, a true leader is going to tell you, conquer your damn self. Nobody's going to tell you who you are. Like, I don't care who it is. Like, and any true figure that's real is going to lead you back to yourself. And the thing about leading you back to yourself is that there's a core aspect of every human being that is connected to everybody else. So leading
Yeah.
you back to yourself is you're leading you back to unity, to everything, to the
Exactly.
earth, to another person, to a Asian person, to whatever. It's like you're leading you back to that unity through individuality.
Yeah.
And
It's like the yoga translation. The yoga it translate to unity, you,
yeah,
because
unity.
it's like unity. It's like,
And
Yeah, yeah.
that's the understanding that came through after that. And then when you realize when you go deep into that mystical spiritual stuff, you realize every corner of the world and the peak of its spiritual pursuit, they all say the same things. Whether they're indigenous, whether they're from India, whether they're from Middle Eastern Sufi mystics or whatever, they always say the same things because they all tap into that same core, aspect of the universe.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I just want to know, like, what's your take on all
Oh,
that?
give me a second.
another
No
6
se me
minutes.
van a ir, güey. Vamos a estar aquí por 3 horas, eh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No.
Let's go, bud. Come on. Go, come on. Salud. Use code FOO-88.
No, but we just had to take a little break right now, but we're back. And I was asking the homie over here if he knew how to ride a horse, bro. Yeah. He was like, hell
Yeah.
yeah. He was
Yeah,
like,
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. Hell yeah. Fool, the fuck?
you gotta
Come on, dog.
out there. And yeah, I seen a video like a few days ago in Santa Barbara. The fucking there's like some Mormon kids that were speaking Nahuatl. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
Have you seen that?
yeah, yeah.
Is
Hell
there a big
yeah.
community out there speaking that?
The fucking Martin was just talking about that shit.
Oh,
I was
yeah?
telling him,
Yeah.
I was
That same
telling
video?
him,
Yeah.
I was telling him that there are Nahuatl speakers here from Guerrero and like people from Puebla.
All right.
For whatever odd reason, people from Guerrero like to come to Santa Barbara, dog. I don't know, I mean, they're probably all over California, just like every other state, But yeah, there's a lot of people from Guerrero here. There's also a lot of people from Jalisco, Michoacan, not too much, but like in the last decade, people from Puebla started to pull up, Oaxaca. Pero yeah, Santa Barbara at one point had like a very large Guerrerense community, but as over time, getting too expensive here.
Yeah.
Most of us, unos nos vamos y otros nos quedamos.
I see, yeah.
So
I hear a little something.
That's not us.
Oh, okay.
that's not us?
Okay. Not yet.
Do
no.
you have the fan on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, I hear something.
It's
No,
all good.
yeah. I don't
Dad,
think
you
you're.
hear that shit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think you could.
I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll lower it down for my
Nah.
mic sensitivity. How do I sound right there?
Yeah, you sound good.
It's all good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all good. Yeah, it don't matter. But nah, bro, we were just talking about like, are there a lot of Nahuatl people in Santa Barbara? And we were just talking about the whole,
I seen that video. Yeah. That shit was crazy. They were fluent. Those
Yeah, Mormon
those
fucking religion is
Mormons.
a trip. I'm a shit. Cause me, I like to, just kind of interact with everybody, all types of shapes of people, religious wise or ethnically, racial, whatever,
Yeah, bro.
I've
You know
always been
what?
a person.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
Yeah, I could see you in like a big production movie, fool. You on a horse,
On
way
a
like
horse,
like
like a
with
damn. Yeah.
Yeah,
that shit,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
That's
But
hey,
uh
yeah.
huh. I've
Did you
spoken with the. Uh huh.
no when you rode a horse? Did you did you have a saddle or
Yeah, it
asito
was a saddle.
nomás?
It was saddle.
Oh,
Saddle.
oh,
Era.
damn.
La chingadera, güey. La mula que me subí, güey, era pues terco y bruto. Like it was like it wasn't really like trained or broken.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the fuck my parents were thinking. Like, yeah, we're gonna put him on the most rebellious horse on the, the most
Oh,
rebellious
shit.
fucking
That's crazy.
mula that we have. Like,
Damn.
it's,
Yeah,
what
that's
I mean?
crazy. Yeah, that's
Man, I
crazy
don't
because
know.
yeah, when
Te
I
digo,
went
my
to
parent.
yeah. But I'll go. Yeah. When I went to Mexico, bro, I was on a horse, and I felt like really empowered, bro. I feel like
You feel like
the king of
colonizer. Or what?
yeah. Yeah. The colonizer,
You feel like
shit,
a
bro.
straight up colonizer. Or what?
Yeah, with the swords and shit, bro. Or what?
Yeah.
No, it felt cool though, bro. I'm like, man, a horse. I don't know the energy of the horse too, bro. Like the connection you guys make. It's like
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like you
no,
feel
yeah.
really, really powerful, man.
Of
It's a
course.
good feeling.
They
I
seem
think,
pretty smart. Those
Yeah,
fucking
the
horses.
animals know when they see infants, dog. Like
Mhm.
when
Oh,
they see
yeah, yeah.
babies of different animals, they change their posture. Some animals do attack infants, predators and all that shit. But most animals, like domestic animals, they know when this is like a baby or a full grown dog knows this is a baby.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
like that's I don't know, it's instinct or I don't know what the heck is it. It's like, but they
Yeah.
recognize that. And
That
that's a trip.
DNA shit that everybody
Like the
probably
horses
has.
when we were at that one party with the fucking
Oh,
they bite you if you have bad energy, basically.
yeah, bro. Yeah, yeah. We were at this nice we are just filming some was like a king. No, it was
It was some party.
yeah, like some girl's birthday party, but they had like horses and shit and everywhere, and I'm like, man, this is
¿Me
like
puedo subir?
yeah, man, yeah. Estaban ahí with the like training people and going on the horses way.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that
yeah.
little thing. There's a bunch of them too. They're pretty nice. I'm like, man, these motherfuckers
Oh,
cost a
yeah.
lot, bro.
I was asking Martin. I was like, I kind of want to do a little something with you guys. I was gonna ask, how do you fully identify individually? So I'm gonna ask Martin first. How do you identify individually today? When I mean identify, nationality, ethnically, racially, and primarily those three, or whatever you want to add.
I identify. I don't know. That's a good question, bro. Like, I identify like myself. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I just like. I try to look like there's no color for everybody, but at the same time, since how we grow up and shit, like different cultures and all that, and you kind of fucking be like, you know what, this race is more like this and this and that. But
Yeah.
I try I try not to judge, but everybody judges, and
Yeah.
but I identify like fucking I don't know, my own God, bro. Basically, I don't know. Like that's a good ass question,
yeah,
bro.
That's a good one, man.
That's a good
That's a
question,
good
bro.
one.
That's a good.
Yeah, I'll give an example right here, fool. So,
Uh-huh.
the way I identify, like in modern day times, I identify as Mexican American nationality. Racially, I identify as Indian or Indigena. Ethnically, I identify as Nahuatl. So, I don't really I don't identify as Chicano. I once did, but I don't anymore because, like I said, a lot of the stuff, like I was deep into that shit, that identity too.
Mm-hmm.
Some people try to separate the whole like gang culture of Chicano identity, which they kind of go hand to hand to some extent, but others don't see it that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like gangsters, bro. What initially gangs were created to protect their community.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck did Chicanos do?
Nah,
There
I
was-
mean, I see it differently. I think it's different. But
It-
that
it-
goes
well,
back
it's
to the
different.
words.
It's different, bro. But I'm just saying, like, they kind of go hand to hand. You know,
I know there's
it's
people who see that, but that's the thing about identity, which that's good to bring up, is because I feel like the past 3 years, for me at least, it was more about unlearning identity than learning identity. You know,
yeah,
because when you get, like I said, we bring it back to spirituality always, because the ego likes to cling on to identity,
Mhm.
like, and that's how they get you. That's how all these forms, as we talk about the Jewish media, we talk about the Zionists, we talk about the Zionist academia, and they get you through wordplay, through, they give you a word, like let's say Chicano, right? Which to me, the way when I hear Chicano growing up, I always heard just Mexican American. So I always like, okay, that's Chicano. But then you get into these college courses, and then this person's giving their take on the word, and then this person's giving their take, and then this word that meant one thing, and now it morphs. Now you connect it to this, you connect it to that, and everybody has their own take. It's like watching a movie. If 10 people watch a movie, you'll have 10 different movies at the end of
yeah,
it, if you ask them, right? That's the same thing with words. So when you go with Mexicans and Mexican Americans, and you have all these words, and every fucking month they have a new word. It's like every fucking month a new word comes out.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And then
You know what you know why that is because the community is divisive, bro.
it's
You know,
divisive, but they don't have identity.
it's always been divisive. You know, it's always been like that, and the only reason why I'm saying that is because I've been accused of being divisive. You know, speaking about the identities of just in general, right? Uh, and there was also a time when I was like picking at the Chicano identity, and it's because I can respect the civil rights part of Chicano. You know, I can respect that. But I don't respect the part where they say that, oh, just because you're basically Mexican, you're so-called Azteca or Maya. Like, you know what I mean? It's just kind of stupid because if you really think about it, it's like what I said previously. We were born. I mean, I was born here in the United States. I don't know you guys' like
No, yeah.
history on
Yeah.
that, right? I was born here. I know I guess dabbled into United States histories, and like I said, I'm like, yeah, I'm an American on paper, but like, come on, dog, like those motherfuckers that weren't thinking about me when that shit happened, like, or people like me, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But for whatever odd reason, but when it comes to like us here in the United States, we have like this nationalistic view. Somos Mexicanos. We're all raza. We all like, woo woo woo. But nah, dog, it's just deeper. It's deeper than that, dog. It's deeper than that. And a lot of the time we choose to ignore it, dude. We choose to ignore it. And we're kind of like indoctrinated to think in this manner too. It's like right now you said you were talking about Chicano studies. Before we get into that, I'm gonna say this. When we went to government general public education, and we were being indoctrinated to some extent. Half of the courses were indoctrination, social studies, history, all that were some form of indoctrination. They were making us believe that the United States was a great country. The United States did all this thing historically. It was like a watered down version of what really fucking happened, right?
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, woo woo woo, right? But then that same year, he fucking did the biggest massacre of indigenous people of Lakota. How the fuck is he so great? You know what I'm saying? So we're indoctrinated to believe that the United States is a great nation historically in their version of how they foresaw or they choose to share the tainted version of history. So we believe that. At one point, I'm pretty sure some of you guys probably believed that. I did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. It's like Christopher Columbus, like they say, like, oh yeah, he discovered America.
He turned out to be Jewish too.
Yeah, and he's the one that that slave shit too, bro. He would have like slaves.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, they make us praise these like fucking colonizers.
The
Like,
fake
you know what I mean?
history,
Like,
the fake history shit. Yeah.
yeah, you know, and Chicano classes do the same thing, bro.
Well,
Does the same shit.
That's a good point. Because last episode, we're gonna post this episode today. We talked about this in the episode we're gonna post today or tonight. So there's gonna be an episode we're gonna drop 2 this week. This one's gonna be dropped on Thursday. But we had another one recorded, which kind of we touched on this topic, which was how do we talked about Hitler, because a lot of people this is a current event topic, right? With the Zionists, with the Jewish people. Not to say we support Hitler, right? But
Yeah.
I do think he's an interesting figure because, like how we talked about, a lot of the secret, powerful structures in the world, they do occult, mystical things, you know, and they don't talk about it. They almost make it seem like it's stupid, like it's crazy. Like the guy who almost was one of the shot callers at NASA, one of the main guys. His name is Jack Parsons. This guy was steeped into the occult, into speaking with spirits, witchcraft, rituals. This is one of the main guys at NASA, right? So when it goes back, everything kind of goes back into the secret societies and this mystical knowledge. So why I bring up Hitler is because wizards throughout the world, wizards have created civilization. And what is a wizard? A wizard is like a Walt Disney. It's somebody who can take an imagination, they can express it, and they can get the masses to create it for them and maintain it. That's how you create a civilization. That's how you create a society. I think I mentioned it in the last episode. Chichen Itza, if I'm not mistaken, it means the place of the water witches, or the brujos, right? So it's like there's I don't know if it's Chichen Itza or another spot, but basically the lore is that they made it, a bunch of brujos got together and they made it within one night. But it goes back to the idea of like brujos and mystics create these places and people build it for them. People build their vision. And so why I bring all that up is because when you create an identity is all made up. That's why I like to speak on identity when it comes to Mexicans, and we talk about this. Identity is made up, right? Identity is just costumes. So when Mexicans are so focused on the costumes, you lose the entire plot. That's why I said my whole thing with the past few years is about unlearning identity. It's about the true spiritual goal is to not have a name, not have a background, not have anything, just always be fully in the present. You don't identify with everything. But to be in the world, you have to play a costume, right? To be in this world, you have to play a costume. So I am Eddie from such and such, and my background such and such. Yeah, that's my costume. But internally, you don't, it's just a costume. It's just a piece of clothing, you know?
Yeah.
So why Mexicans are so lost, and have they been lost? Because they don't have that understanding that they're taking on pieces of clothing and you're playing identity. And you have to play the one that benefits you the most. And the one that benefits Mexicans the most is a sort of pan-indigenous idea. I think that's the one that benefits not only Mexicans, but all indigenous people on these continents. Because the way I know Jewish media works is through division, divide and conquer. The way I know Jewish academia works through divide and conquer. By pitting the smartest intellectual, academic, indigenous folk against your average Mexican, by pitting everybody based off these specific reasons and say, oh, you're not this because of this label. You're not this because of this. Instead of creating a unity, they know that there's power in numbers and we have the numbers. You know, so instead of, so like, for example, the people talk about this Pretendian shit, right? It's so stupid. It's so ridiculous. Israel, right? Israel, Netanyahu said, what did Netanyahu say? He said, the biggest battleground is TikTok. We have to swarm TikTok with bots, with information. Okay, so what does that mean? Every bot is going to say something that's pro-Israel. They're going to be like, oh, Israel's the best place, whatever. Yeah. Imagine if there was a swarm of Pretendians. That would benefit every indigenous person, every person with that indigenous identity. If it was everybody was a Pretendian, I think there would be so much numbers and so much power in those numbers that people are so short-sighted that they want to be different that they lose sight of the bigger picture. So I think that these identities and these costumes are important. Oh, are you there?
Oh,
no.
No.
He's probably talking to this fool.
Oh,
But yeah, what do you think about that?
that's just good ass shit, bro. It's good. Man, it's like fire ass shit, man. The fuck? These fools be calling me and shit. No, not them, but.
Sorry about that, dude.
Nah, go ahead. We'll cut it off.
You're good.
But it kind of goes back to what I said previously, bro. Like, not all people are people, though. You know, There's selfish people out there. I know what you're saying about unity and the optimism. It's kind of dangerous because, like I said, it goes. You're trying to be optimistic. Yeah, I would love to see unity, no doubt about it. Right? I would like for us to respect one another or whatnot, whatever religious or ethnic or language you speak or whatever your customs are. You know, I'm down for that. But it's too far to even get there, Don. Socially, it's like social manner. I think it's difficult because there's a lot of people that think there's going to be arrogant people. There's people that are, I guess, so to say, humble, like yourself. You see it in that manner, right? And you're being optimistic. But there's other people that don't. And in fact, like the most kindest people are the ones that are taken advantage of in this life. You know?
Yeah, we see that.
And so it's like, por ejemplo, Malcolm X, bro, he wouldn't. I mean, Malcolm X shit is I'm not really like dove into it too much, but I respect that man because I could see what he was trying to do. Like he wanted to empower solely his own community. He didn't want white people's aid. He didn't want anybody else other than his own people to support him, dog, or to organize and become an entity of its own, which at one point it was. And having diversity in Mexico of people of not necessarily knowing who they are and just identifying, I guess, so to say, what you just said, Pretendian, right? That means that allows anybody to go or infiltrate that community. You know, like you can get somebody that, I guess, so to say, would look like let's say all of us, like all three of us look different, bro. We might have a commonality of an ancestor or something. We might be indigenous or lo que sea, but we all have a different take out of life. I mean, so Israel, yeah, he divides. The reason why they're divisive is because of that sole purpose, bro. To infiltrate, you're able to infiltrate communities so much easier like that when they're divided.
Yeah.
But if a community is united and actually take care of their own social issues and wipe out or take out or kick out, exile, I don't know, you know, those people that are not of the same ideals, you know, and from there it can grow to something else, you know, because it's dangerous, bro. Being so open to be like, oh, so, you know, I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, I don't see color, I don't see race, I don't see none of that. I didn't know. It's kind of like I understand their perspective, but also it's like you're gonna ignore the oppression that your fucking people did to my people. I can't live like that. I cannot live with the denial that my ancestors were conquered, you know, in various ways. Religious, death, imprisonment, having their village pillaged, etc., right? Starved, deprived from resources because they were forbidden from hunting, things of that nature. And it goes back to what we talked about in the beginning, how there's so many laws that we can't even collect rainwater. We can't even do none of that. They were doing that shit. They were applying that shit back in the day.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
So, like, you know what I mean? So they want us to depend on our government. And then also, like, the divisiveness, that's where you can infiltrate the easiest. But when a community is very united and very knit, that's where it's dangerous.
So what okay, yes, I get you. I think, but what do you think is the answer? Because like I said, it's not naive. Like we talked about before, we're not coming from a naive place because the truth is the truth. And that's eternal. Doesn't matter who believes it, who doesn't. It's the truth. And the truth is we are all part of a source. We're all popped up from this earth, regardless of your race or whatever. We're all made of these components. Now, our mind always makes us different. Our mind always wants to divide and cut everything up and say this and that. And that's true. There's a social truth to, yeah, okay, so you have this background, you have this background, and we can go for infinity. Everything's different, right?
And beyond.
You know, there's college courses based off how different we are and the marginalization of this and that. And it's like, all right, okay, that's forever and ever. It's never going to end. You know, there's always going to be debate. But I think that it's not naive to strive for that and to spread that message out, because there has to be balance in the world. You know, like you could be cold harsh realist, and we are to a certain extent. We are straight, direct, cold, harsh. And you spoke about Malcolm X, and there was a black man that spoke a few days ago on my algorithm. He's like, he was an older man. He's like, man, when Malcolm X came out, that guy was really scary. I didn't support him at all. He was really scary to me as a black person at the time, because this dude said things that we all felt, but we were so scared to say, you know? And he's like, that guy was scary to me. But now as an older man, I could reflect back on how direct he was. And it's true. There's a way to say things. And maybe even us, we don't say it the right way. We don't sugarcoat it. We'll just go straight to the fucking whatever. And it's like, yeah, even how you speak directly based off your experience. And that's perfectly fair. It's like how everybody sees what they see. And your own experiences in your life, you know, like the childhood moments of being excluded and being made feel different. And obviously that always influences our minds, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's always going to influence our world. So that's why I go back to this deleting your identity, which I know it's scary for people, because we spoke about it with Leela, where she said I feel like I died, right? We said a true spiritual experience feels like death. And I think life is a paradox, because the paradox of life is the more dead you are to your identity, the more you experience life richly.
Big time, yeah.
Because the more you are your ego, the more fear you have of losing or being the ego being inflicted upon. You know, so
yeah, I think what, at least is what I'm hearing is that. So a lot of times when I'm gonna bring psychedelics a little bit here, when people have psychedelic experiences, they experience a lot of their trauma, a lot of their hurt, right, and all that stuff, and then they process through that, right? So that process that we're going through is submitting to the process, submitting that we have no control, submitting of all that, and then that's what changes people, and that's what you're saying, that we die or to some extent, but it's not that we're dying. It's just more so that we're submitting, you know. And that's why I believe in Tezcatlipoca, which is one of the deities of my Mesoamerican, you know, from Central Mexico, you know, not only Central Mexico, but from Nahuatl communities. So the reason why I believe in that is because that deity is not necessarily good nor bad. He can give you misfortune or fortune. In fact, that's the reason why we have laughter, because he actually makes a mockery of us as people. And so it's like, and he's always around. He's always around at all places simultaneously. You know, that kind of reminds you of what Christianity or Jesus. They know what, you know, they know you. They are always there. You know, it's just that same mentality, right? But for me, another reason why I'm bringing this is like, I have to be submissive to the idea that things could always go wrong or things could always go right. You know, and I think most of us are resistant to that, and that's why we hurt emotionally. You know, I went through a crazy ass experience fucking 2 months ago. And I'm still processing through this shit. Was that I was in a relationship. I was given under the impression that I was going to be a father for the very first time with a lady that also was going to be a first time parent. So as nerve-wracking as it may be, I was so excited to be that father, right? And come to realize that that child was not mine, that it was from the person that she had a so-called one fling or whatever. I don't know. So
sorry to hear that.
You know, yeah, bro. So fuck, dog. And I found she told me this 10 days before my birthday.
Oh my God.
So when I heard that shit, bro, no mames, güey. It's a terrible experience, fucking feeling, bro. You feel deceived, you feel anger, you feel sadness, you just a bunch of emotions all at once as a male, you know. Especially if you care to be a parent, you know. So damn. Yeah, bro, I've been processing that shit for the last 2 months. I feel I'm getting better, or submitting to the fact that, accepting the fact that the child is not mine, accepting or trying to let go of that disbelief of what occurred to me, you know. and just submitting to it. And if I once submit to that and just be like, it is what it is, ya pasó, I have no control, none of that. You accept it and it gives you freedom. So it's what I'm saying. Like, we submit to things, but when we don't submit to things, it's when we have our issues, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the only reason, bro. That's what I'm learning right now, speaking with you guys, you know, just because the way you speak, it gives me, I'm like, you know,
That's good.
I can see some truth in that. I've always been like that. I've always been a person that like, I might not know everything in the world, but I'm able to give you a common sense thought, you know? So yeah, me going through that, bro, it's a nutty experience, bro. Yeah, so vale, es un desmadre, güey. Es un desmadre, dog.
I could hear.
Es un desmadre, homie. Like, fuck. But I don't know, dog. I don't want to say it's a good thing that it happened, but you know, some people see it as that, like, oh, ya se enseñó sus verdaderos colores, you know. She showed her true colors and all of that. But I'm like, yeah, but that shit don't mean that shit don't hurt. Like, you know?
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, bro, it is what it is.
And that's crazy, bro. Because I was talking to one of my homies. He's going through the same, like, kind of like a divorce thing, kind of thing, and you know, he's in a terrible position right now, and everybody looks like they're doing fine, you know. Like, you just look at someone, you're like, this guy's looks like he's
all right.
he's like, he's good, but it's like that mental, like mental health, yeah, men's mental health month or whatever. Was it in June or whatever? It don't matter what fucking day that shit is,
Something
but
like that.
We should.
That shit is every day.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Yeah, mental. Yeah, that shit's stupid, but yeah, it should be. It's every day, fool. And I seen and some dude too. Like, he was telling me that there's a car crash and they're on the hill, and this guy, you know, for some reason ended up making a left turn, which was straight to the ocean. It was like a hill because I guess he didn't want to deal with life anymore, traffic or something. He just turned. You know, he put that pedal to the metal and boom, just flew off the hill, bro. And I think he was like a 26-year-old. I think it happened like 2 weeks ago, a week ago. And it's just like a lot of men too, you know, they be going through some hard ass shit, and then we keep it inside too, because that's how we are. Like, you know, what is it, the fucking what is that, the fucking
Don't show no emotions, basically.
Yeah, it's like whatever. I forgot the word.
Machismo.
Yeah, the machismo kind of shit, bro. Like the machismo shit, where it's just like, just take it inside and you got to deal with it your own self. But at the same time, that could be very destructive.
That's a good one. That's a good one, because
yeah,
nobody gives you the tools to deal with it, you know. And I think when you look for those tools, you know, that's why I brought it back to running. A lot of people, they say like running has like the highest percentage of people with like some kind of trauma in their mind. You know, like people who run a lot and people who do like these ultra 100 miles, they're like firefighters, and like, because they see all the gruesome shit, and it's like, it gives you not only you're always, when you're physically active, you're sweating and you can't think of anything else besides just finishing or being in the moment. Whether it be running or playing a sport, whatever. But they say that running draws in a lot of those type of people, and especially as a way to deal with your own shit that you got, whatever it is. Because like, pain and suffering is so subjective. What gives you pain, you know, to another person it might not give them. But
yeah, of course,
you know, to what gives it's like so subjective, but it's your own way of processing. We don't have the tools, you know. Yeah. And I think one of the best
it all varies. It varies to people. I mean, I have a therapist and a psychiatrist, right? And then I've spoken to them, like, you know, what's crazy is that, let's say for example, like if somebody was to get in a car accident, two people can be in the same type of vehicle, same time of day, same everything exactly to the T. They can get into a car accident, and one of them could be like, I'm never going to get in a car no more ever in my life. And the other person could be like, I'm going to get in another car tomorrow and just do whatever I need to do. So what I was trying to say with that is like, what you expect is what you were saying. Like, someone's pain, your pain could be someone else's, like, whatever. Well, you have a problem with that? Like, you know, or they don't comprehend or whatnot, you know. But those are the people that don't have the most powerful gift that a human being could have, is having the capability of compassion and empathy.
Yeah, damn.
Well said.
That's the
well said.
that's the most strongest emotion human, like intelligence that you can have, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
and and I mean, you know, it happens to all of us. You know, a girl, you know,
It's always women.
It's always women.
who,
The
take
biggest
you into
downfall.
the tree of knowledge.
Yeah, for real, bro. But when that happened to me, I was like a bit younger. I was like 22 or like 20, and it was like my first heartbreak. Right, like I was like so depressed, full over a girl, and then I was like, I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't want to tell, like, I'm like that person, you know, I don't tell my brothers or any of my family.
Yeah.
They're just my best friend. I'd be telling them like my problems, and you still have to deal with it yourself. Well,
Yeah.
you know, that's not just
Oh,
gonna
well.
go away. And then I was
Yeah.
just like, man, how the fuck? And then it took a couple of months, bro, for before I got a
yeah,
little better.
grieving process is different from everybody, bro. Like,
Yeah.
shit, dude.
And then it's like a key. It's like for everybody that's listening, if you're going through this like that, what I did was one of my avenues to, you know, take this depression away was I was really active. I was like I was in boxing classes. I was in Muay Thai. I do kickboxing. I was in wrestling. You know, I did more of the active sporty kind of thing because everybody has their own niche, you know, what they want to do. But I took all my anger out when I would
Yeah,
spar with people, you know, and then but I at the same time I could control it. You got to control your emotions as well. You can't be like a destructive ass fool, bro, you know, because but you know, that's for everybody, you know, I don't know what you do to make you happy or something, but you know, I would just find that you find it there for it, and you know, it takes a couple months depending on the person.
Yeah,
and
I'm
you know,
actually doing it right now, and
Yeah.
my method is actually to engage in conversations with people. You know,
okay.
That's it's my let out. It's my way to just either. I just brought that shit up with you guys, you know, and I don't often bring it up. Some people try to talk to me privately about it, like, oh, you know, like I see a lot of deep sadness in you. I'm like, that shit's nothing new, but yeah, there's a lot of sadness in me, you know.
Damn.
But I'll be like, nah, I don't want to talk about it. Nah, like, I don't talk about it with everybody, dog. Right now I'm talking about it publicly, but it's not like I'm really speaking to anybody, you know,
Yeah.
other than
Yeah.
you two.
Yeah.
I get you.
So, yeah, I'm doing that right now. Me is having that conversation about anything, about, you know, outside of my own experience. And yeah, that's my way to deal with it, you know.
And I don't know if you ask yourself or who you ask, you know, I always ask myself questions like when I'm by myself. I'm like, man, why did that happen? You know, like, and you kind of like just jot down, like, why did this happen, bro? You know, and that's a deep ass question right there. But
Yeah, but that's a dangerous question though, bro.
at the same
Like,
time
you know,
too, yeah.
This is a dangerous question right there. You can fall back into depression with that because I'm familiar with that. Like, you know, I've been dealing with mental health issues for fucking 20 years, my G.
Damn,
You know,
man.
20 fucking years, dog.
Yeah.
And lately, if I have to be honest, lately I've been thinking about just like completely closing all my friendships, the little friendships that I have, closing all majority of my acquaintances, and just straight up be alone.
Yeah.
I also do content, but I not communicate with anybody anymore. Just cause, like, you know, I feel like was kind of like in a sense of giving up, you know.
Yeah.
Like with this experience, what happened to me is I just feel like I maybe not be destined to be a father, you know, because it's a very important thing for me, bro.
Yeah.
Familia is a big thing for me.
Nah,
And-
you'll find someone else, bro. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, I've had the privilege to be able to attract women into my life. You know,
That's good.
I've had the privilege. You know, I've
Especially
had the
as
privilege.
those numbers goes up on your IG.
Oh,
Yeah. You know, I've had the privilege, and
your personality, bro. When I was watching your video, I'm like, man, this fool is like really mellow, like relaxed, like
got a calm vibe.
you have a calm, really relaxed vibe, bro. And people wouldn't see that, you know, like what's going on with you right now, and they don't see that. But at the same time, it's just like, you know, my perspective of you was like, I mean, still, you know, it doesn't. I'm not getting at you or anything, bro. But I'm just like, you're just your personality is like more like a mellow kind of dude, like chillax man, dude. You know.
Yeah, I don't try to be judgmental You know, I try to comprehend people, you know. I don't even know. I want to say, like, sometimes, bro, like, gente me aburre, güey. I'm gonna be honest. Some people they bore the fuck out of me, dog. And I think it's because they're not able to really articulate their words or be more, I guess, for some people would say intelligence or wise and all that stuff. Like, I always like to learn from people, you know. And I might not learn from the most wisest person in the world, but I could learn something from someone individually. And that's what I always look. And if I'm not learning anything from you, that's when I get bored. I'm like, you know. And then I also don't like very como decir, very kind of like arrogant vibe. Like, I'm a, you know, for men, it's like I'm an alpha male, and for women, I'm a boss bitch, or you know what I'm saying. I don't take shit from anybody, like, you know. That kind of reminds me when I was a young kid, man. When I was a gangster or cholo, you know, representing my neighborhood y toda esa madre, you know, all arrogant. You know, ain't nobody gonna tell me shit. No, ain't nobody gonna fuck with me. You know, like woo woo woo. You know, that's that kind of mentality that I see from people when they have that type of mentality, dog. And those are the people that never really necessarily faced a lot of fucking trauma, you know. I've seen motherfuckers get beat up for saying some stupid shit, you know. It's trying to act in this manner, like even though I just stated that I act in the manner that I did, but you know, some of us are willing to die for it, some of us are not, you know. And I think a lot of those people that feel like, oh, ain't nobody gonna tell me nada, it's like, well, you never been slapped before, you know. You never been beat up, dog. Exactly. Like, with that type of attitude, that attitude is familiar to me because of the gang mentality, you know. So I see a lot of that nowadays, bro. A lot of people that are like, just kind of like, to some extent, selfish, and it's very for me. I think it causes more harm than it does any good. It does more harm for the community or for the people. But it doesn't really do any harm to yourself, you know, because when you're in that mentality, te vale madre what such and such says, or who you infect and this and that. As long as you're happy and as long as you're getting it, fuck the world type shit, you know. But like, to me, I don't know. To me, that feels anybody could do that, you know. To me, like, I've always had the desire, you know, since I was humbled, you know. I just expressed all that shit, that arrogance, that, well, ain't nobody gonna tell me nada and all that shit. Like, I was humbled by life, my G. You know, I was humbled by life. I was humbled with, you know, with mental health issues. And it just kept on pounding and pounding. Yo, aunque, you know, sort of very prideful y toda esa madre, I fucking yield to that shit, dog, so to say, you know. And that definitely humbled me and made me look at life in a different perspective, like crazy, you know. I started reflecting on myself, like started questioning myself. Why am I so proud to be Mexican? Why am I so this and that, this, you know, woo woo woo. Like, I started to seek value in community. You know, I've always looked for community. That's why I joined a gang, you know. Even when I got on social media, try to look for communities, I joined a group of people that weren't necessarily great people and very toxic ass people, you know. But you know, I said to myself after that experience, I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not gonna mess with anybody. I'll talk to people, but when you talk about community and all that shit, don't count me in. Like, it's just everybody has their own metas, dog. You know, cancel culture is crazy. I've probably had like 2 serious allegations on me.
all that beef online, man.
Yeah, no, but I mean, for me, like, one, I got like accused of fucking like talking to like young people, dude. Like, you know, people of underage. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I woke up one morning and then I saw this tagging. I was tagged and I was like, what the fuck? Like, fuck that, you know. So I went on a live. I was like, hey, I've seen some shit, dude. Like, I'm gonna address this, you know. I'm not gonna run away from this shit. Like, that ain't me. And all the viejas that I spoke to, like all the ladies that I spoke to in the past or present, they all came to my aid. Like, Kiyahuitl don't speak this way. He don't talk to you in that manner. That's not him. Like, you know.
That's
so I had a lot of ladies that did that for me, And what was the other accusation? Oh yeah, so that group that I was a part of, like being a community of, was primarily women and a couple other men. That shit was a trip because if it was like a public breakup, dog, we weren't even dating or anything like that. It was just all bad, dog. It was all bad. It was crazy, food. And
Damn.
so every now and then I have a flock of haters like, oh, Kiyahuitl is misogynistic. And I think a lot of the times when people say that word, like they don't even know what the definition of it, dude. Yeah. I'm the total opposite of misogynistic.
Yeah.
And that's how they take us down too. If you look at what they did with like a symbol of Cesar Chavez, I don't even say I support him or not, because I'm not really, it doesn't matter. I just look at the symbol. They always attack the up and comers or the old timers based off of sexual allegations, when the irony is the people in power right now are all sexual deviants. They're all Epstein lists, Epstein files, but they always want to put it in the media, and that's why we always go back to the Zionist Jewish media. They attack Mexicans regardless of whatever. They attack Mexicans. They try to make us be like we're sexual assaultants, and they want to make the masses afraid of us in that way, especially if you are coming up online like yourself. Yourself, like I've heard already like so many different stories of people coming up, they're barely blowing up, and they get these allegations. And that's why we always like me
that's crazy.
Like
as hell.
before we start all this, bro, we already set down the ground rules. We're like, hey, this and this gonna happen. They're gonna try to attack us through this and that. And it's like, hey, just be on your A game basically, because you know how the system works and how the moves that they play, because they play the same moves over and over again. And you experience that.
Hell yeah, I experienced it, dog. But the different about me is that I'm a very prideful fool. I was like, fuck, and I come from a gang background. It's like whenever like somebody accuses you of some shit, you gotta stand on your 10 toes right there and then. Let's go, dog. Yeah. You know?
No te dejas,
No me dejo, no soy dejado, you know?
Yeah.
And they just did it to the wrong motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen other content creators, dog, that they run and hide, bro.
That's crazy as hell, bro.
Just conversating with you guys is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely was a good one, man. Yeah, and that's cool that
in all honesty, I think we were all over the fucking place. I think we should try to
do it. That's how we always do it.
I know, me too. I've done this before. Like I have a little interaction thing going on my YouTube lives. I've interacted with Taboo from Black Eyed Peas, a famous drag queen personality within that community, and various other people. Like I talked to, the last person I spoke to was he's looks like, I don't want to miscategorize him, but he's heavily in his religion or ways. It's African American, and they talk about the Hebrews and stuff like that, you know. So he's
the Jews.
They think they're the original Hebrews.
The Black Israelites.
Yeah. You know, I spoke with him, you know, but the reason why I spoke to this individual is because I was like, you know, aside from his fucking religious perspective or view, his point of view towards history and colonialism by white Americans of the United States and all that shit, I agree with. You know, I've had him on my shit. I was like, hey, bro, I'm just gonna let you know ahead of time. I don't fuck with that. You know, I don't mess around with religions from the other side of the world. Like, like, you know, I just stay with my ancestor stuff. We can talk about it a little bit, but
you're like,
you're not gonna convince me of my G. You know, like, I have my own shit.
That's pretty sick too, bro. I think Dakota follows you too, bro.
Oh,
I was like, damn.
Well, the Dakota Wint, I think, is a spiritual YouTuber.
I don't know if you.
Hey, dog.
He's
pretty big. He's famous.
He's pretty big.
Yeah. On the
gonna have
IG
to.
Shit.
Yeah, bro. He follows you, bro.
Videos later, but that fool's pretty. He's pretty chill. He has some interesting videos.
Yeah. I'll be watching his YouTube video. I seen his YouTube video last on Sunday, bro. Like he's a really interesting guy. I think he goes out like he goes all over the world, but he goes to mostly like to Indian stuff, and he just talks about.
He's like a light skinned fool. He has like a little
Yeah. That fool, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That fool's a trip.
Yeah.
I like his shit too.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah,
like
that
when he
fool-
goes
Yeah.
he goes out there do his thing, you know.
Yeah, that's
Man.
pretty sick.
Yeah.
So what do you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about the indigenous, like the spirituality that you got into? Like, how does that, how does that influence you, or are you deep in that? Because I feel like everything boils down to that.
Well, my spirituality is individual, bro. Like I don't have a real name. I don't have a name for it, you know. But I implement the words that I've studied of my ancestors, and I try to comprehend their view for out over the world and how they foresaw it, right? And which is a difficult thing for people like ourselves, because we live in a westernized society, and we were indoctrinated to think a certain way, right? And we don't even know what our people before have spoken. We will always hear about the Western version of it, you know. So when you think of the word day, I'm gonna give you an example. When you say the word day, when you say, oh, that's the sky up there, when you say that, do you say it in the manner of like that's a separate thing from you, or how do you foresee it?
Oh shit, man, that's a good question. I never thought about that. Like,
But I think it's like, when I say it's like a separate thing, like I think
Like it's a thing, like the
separate.
sky is separate
Yeah,
from
it's
you?
a separate thing from you.
yeah, probably that. I would just say the sky is like an object almost when you speak, you know, but you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think it's a part of you. But obviously, if you think about it a little bit more, you're connected to it all. But
Yeah.
I never
we're
thought about
connected
yeah,
to
that-
everything.
yeah, we're all connected to everything. We all exist to nosotros tenemos, our existence has an impact to everything, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so like my ancestors will say ilwika, and there's a word. This is a noun word, ilwit. Ilwit means day or the linguist people put like a day of festival, or it's a fiesta, so to say, right? Ilwit, and that they put a suffix called ka onto there. Sometimes it could be tika at the end of it. And ilwika, what it would mean literally in a sense is it's just like it's saying through the day. It literally just literal meaning would be that through the day, through the daylight, through lo que es el cielo, so to say, you know, right? And we're a part of that. They say in the essence of that, we're existence of that. In a spiritual aspect, when it comes to the night, we are day people, right? At least that's what the Mesoamerican people thought. We were day people. A lot of the fights were done amongst the day and never done amongst the night. Not that it wouldn't happen, but the honorable warrior will fight only and solely in the day, because we are day people. We're not nocturnal like a owl, a coyote, a jaguar, and various other types of animals, which are all associated with Tezcatlipoca. So the jaguar is associated with Tezcatlipoca. The owl is also associated with Tezcatlipoca. The coyote, if I'm not mistaken, too, but I could be wrong with that. And these are all nocturnal animals. You know, they have they'll say the deity Ehecatl, or people say it as Ehecatl. That's the incorrect way to say it. It's supposed to be Ehecatl,
which is like the god of the wind, or
yeah. And it's just like it's a version of Tezcatlipoca. I mean, the Quetzalcoatl. And well, there's also a version of that of Tezcatlipoca, which is Yowal Ehecatl, or Yowali Ehecatl, you know, the night wind. And then we have the day wind. And it's that duality thing that we speak of. But this is not it's this theme of, there's some believers that believe that the Tezcatlipoca and Quetzalcoatl were somehow relatives, or they were brothers or cousins, who knows. But that whole kingship has always been a part of Mesoamerican philosophy, or most indigenous communities, I would think, you know. The Olmecs, they would speak about twin fucking brothers, you know. And the Mayas also speak of this twin brothers things. And the Nahuatl people didn't really have that story of the twins, but it was kind of implemented to the whole Tezcatlipoca and Quetzalcoatl identity. So the night is associated with Tezcatlipoca, and that's what I said previously, that he's not necessarily a good or bad thing for any of us, right? It's just it's kind of like a constant reminder of submitting to life, for what things may or may not occur for you. So it's a trip, bro. It's a trip to thinking in that manner, but it's also dangerous to think in that manner because of Western civilization, bro.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's really very interesting stuff, man.
Yeah, and there's always that I think the thing that I notice around the world is there's always the serpent connection. There's always the serpent symbolism everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think that I don't know, there's people who have many theories that's like there's the serpents that bring the knowledge around the world, and they so these civilizations always have these symbols. Even in what is now the United States, they have the serpent mound, and in Mexico and through Mesoamerica, and even down South America, they have all these serpent symbolisms. And when you go into like Eastern mysticism, they also say that in the Himalayas they actually manifest physical celestial beings that are in the form of a cobra, and like they take on, basically, I like to connect everything, but basically there are accounts of these yogis that meditate in the mountains. They actually manifest, or they see these serpent beings, and they look like turquoise glass skin or scales. And that's kind of like how they describe Quetzalcoatl. They describe them with the glass, like glittering skin, turquoise.
Yeah.
And that's how they describe these yogis, describe these beings. And it goes back to the ancient, they call it the Naga race. This race of snake, human hybrid, whatever. But
humanoid.
They spread throughout the world. And
the Maga race,
the Naga, not Maga.
I'm just kidding, I'm just playing, bro.
But yeah,
you're gonna get those fools pumped, dog. You're gonna get those people all pumped up.
They're gonna be
not because of this fool. Now they're gonna come out and say we're MAGA race.
Oh yeah, right.
But that's what they call them. But yeah, anyways, that's yeah, bro. That's just an interesting thing.
Yeah, the commonality of
everything,
like
how everything connects. Because we all have to connect at some point, I think.
I mean, we're all Homo sapiens, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and we obviously share a common ancestor, which is a Homo sapien, But language also, having interactions with different ethnic groups over time develop a specific language, like Latin happened, and that it also turned into like French, obviously the Spanish of Spain, mixture with Arabic, the Portuguese, all Italian. They're all individual languages, but they have a common ancestor, of language. And it's crazy to me that there's a common word that Asian, I'm not sure if it's Mandarin, but some language within China, they have a common word in Nahuatl. We say shali for sand. And the language in I don't know which one it is. It may be just Mandarin. They say the same word for sand.
Oh, no way.
Damn. Interesting.
And then what's crazy too, like the concept of like common deities or whatever, or ideas of these powerful beings. There's also commonality with Polynesians.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And in their language, they have a thing called a glottal stop. And that glottal stop is also, it's in Nahuatl. Originally, it has a glottal stop. Now, most variants change that into a thing called fricative, to kind of like, because some people don't know how to speak. Most Nahuatl speakers of today don't know how to speak with that glottal stop anymore. So they So they modify or added something more modern. Like most of the Nahuatl, or the majority of the Nahuatl that I share, I usually use the fricative marker rather than the glottal stop, because the glottal stop is a challenge to speak of its own.
What can you explain what that is exactly?
So, for example, in modern variant, I don't know if you guys are familiar with most modern variants. To say no in their language or their variant, they will say amo, amo, amo,
Oh, no.
right? To say no, right? I don't know if you guys ever seen that.
Nah, we're not too. That's not our lane, basically.
Yeah. So there's a language that word right there is a negation word. Let's just say pretty much no. You know, the version that I use is ahmo, 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 and that's what the fricative version. That's the fricative version. The other one is amo, is the one that just straight up neglects the idea of glottal stop. So using the glottal stop is a very subtle, but you have to notice, you know, which would be a pause in between the vowel A to the consonant M. So instead of like saying amo, it should have been atmo, 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 atmo. So there's a stoppage in between the A and the M. And most modern variants, they just say amo, which is
like westernized or
yeah, it's westernized. Most modern variants are westernized, bro. They'll say phrases like qualitonali, fucking qualiyowali, qualitlaneshi, which means like good morning, good afternoon, good day. That's not what that's not how the ancestors spoke, bro. They never said fucking buenos dias.
Yeah.
The closest thing to buenos dias would be como amaneciste. You ever heard of that phrase?
Yeah.
That phrase was a real thing in Nahuatl or Meso philosophy, but it wasn't just como amaneciste. It was more of like a spiritual thing, like how did it, what, like I don't know, I just say creator sometimes. What do the gods or the creators or whatever make you feel as you woken up? Because they thought that we were in a creation story, bro. Like, you know, there was 4 creations before the 5th creation. And knowledge was lost, so we don't. Some people think that we're in the 6th creation within the calendar, but I know honestly we don't know. I don't know who bestows genuine knowledge on that, but yeah, they would say like como amaneciste, but it's in the form of like in a spiritual sense. How do the creators make you feel as you wake up?
Interesting.
So they would say like Kenny Otemo. They would say for good morning would be like Kenny Otimo Tlatwiti. And it's just saying that. Like, it's just saying like in what manner did you despertatis, but in a spiritual aspect. It wasn't just like it wasn't just como amaneciste, you know.
And so, for example, so we'll probably wrap it up. But for people who want to know, who want to get into that, what would you recommend for them to start into learning? And how did you start actually?
Well, I told you, see white people fucking be like, hey, you know, this is Nahuatl. And I'm like, what the fuck? Ya me quitaron todo en la vida. You know? Me quitaron la identidad. Me dijeron que soy esto. Ya basta. You know, I was like, fuck that shit. I ain't gonna let no fucking, you know, it's a trip, bro. It's a trip that other people of different race or ethnic backgrounds from across all over the world want to learn Nahuatl because they find it so fascinating. Like Russians, Germans, specifically Germans. Like it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
That's
Pretty sick too.
Italian, you know. That's what my book has been purchased on the other side of the world, dog. Like I'm like, what the heck?
Oh, for real? That's pretty dope.
Damn, that's crazy.
You know,
That's
just a trip. That's just a trip. When I see that shit, I'm like, you know, what are you gonna do with Nahuatl over there? But people would love that. Or they're interested or whatnot. If they're interested, fool, and the people that actually descend from that are not interested, dude, that's fucking like it's sad, dog.
Well, the guy who cracked the Maya code, he was Russian, no?
I don't know.
The guy who cracked the Mayan code, he was
language,
some Russian guy, the Mayan language, and I watched the whole shit on that. But it's crazy how people just get obsessed with one thing and then they figure it out. Even like. Well, that's another thing that I want to talk about too, is how these new indigenous activists, so to speak, on I know on TikTok they attacked us after we made that video,
but
Hey, I'm before you say anything, I'm gonna say this. There's definitely a lot of performative people on social media, dog.
and
And
we don't
me-
fake the funk, bro. We are where we are, man.
Eso exactamente. I mean, fool, I wear my emotions on my sleeves, so to say. You know, there's days where I'm fucking just depressed.
Yeah.
Fucking, there's days when I'm just like, don't fuck with me.
Hey, yeah, you gotta get more
Or,
to that, man. You gotta get
or-
more expressive in that. 'Cause I see your Nahuatl stuff, but your personal stuff also. I think you'll affect a lot of people in a positive way going through what you're going through.
Yeah, the other day I did a video of me talking to myself, fool. Like,
Yeah,
I was like,
That was pretty good too, bro. I think I seen that video
More
too.
to that. I think that's,
Yeah,
that's a great another little.
I'm like a lot of
aspect of you too.
Yeah, a lot of people can resemble with that, and they feel that that emotion that you're, you know,
yeah,
you're projecting.
That's why I conduct myself in that aspect. You know, try and be genuine, authentic, approachable. You know, life.
And real people see real as dudes
They
like that, bro.
recognize
You know,
it,
we
yeah.
recognize real, bro.
Yeah.
That's what's
So I conduct myself, but yeah, there's a lot of performative content creators out there, dog. That, you know, I just, that's what I'm saying. I stay away from all that shit. Like, I may associate myself by saying hi or somebody, you know, hope you're doing good. But it's just trying to be positive, dog. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like if you were walking down the street and some bystander just walks across from you, you're like, the politeness would be like, hola, buenas tardes, or, you know,
Just being respectful,
or hi,
basically.
hi, or polite, you know.
Yeah, just be respectful.
And they would respond back, hi, bye. That don't mean we're friends, bro. It's just a motherfucker that I just crossed the street from. You know what I mean? I'm just
exactly.
trying to be polite and nice.
Yeah,
like,
there you go.
But yeah, there is a lot of performative people on social media. Like for me, I've said it several times, and I know we're gonna end the show, but for me, I said I done my genealogy. I'm doing my genealogy. I found the source of where my last name comes from, or
Gantes?
came from.
Is that
Yeah,
your-
Gantes.
Gantes?
Gantes is
Portuguese
it's
almost.
nah, it's actually Belgium.
Belgium. God, damn.
Belgium down.
Yeah, so there was a frayer that was Belgium. I don't know how the fuck he ended up in 2 years after the fall of Tenochtitlan. He got his name Spanishized, just like how Christopher Columbus changed his name, you know,
From the Jewish
to a Spanish version, I guess, you know, Spanishized. It's kind of like how we say carro, you know, right? That's not even a fucking word, bro,
Yeah,
but we
exactly.
understand it.
Yeah.
You know, that is we Spanishized English word car.
parquear.
Oh, parquear. Yeah.
Parquear.
Yeah.
You know, like those are all Spanishized English words. So it's the same thing that was occurring back when, you know. So it was just frayers. They named him Pedro. There was Frayer Pedro de Gante. So the reason why they call him de Gante is because he came from a. Oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
his battery died probably, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
I forgot to connect the.
the port, the USP.
You were
or
connected, and
whatever.
then we could finish off if you want.
Yeah, my camera was holding in, so I was like, "Fuck, I need to
Yeah.
connect it right now before it dies."
Yeah, I totally forgot to connect it.
Yeah. That's why I kind of turned it off there too, bro. I'll put another thing so you could cut this out too. But yeah, we're at like an hour and 48 minutes. Oh, there you go.
Hopefully aguanta, you know, pero yeah, you know, they named him Pedro Fraile de Gante. The reason why they call him the Gante, because there's this city in Belgium. It's a major city. It's not called Gante, but it's like a nickname of it. It's a nickname.
Yeah.
So this guy, they named him Pedro, even though that wasn't his fucking real name, because he had a Belgian name. They call him Pedro, and they say de Gante, saying like he's from a place called Gante, which is in Belgium.
Okay.
Which is in Belgium. And what's unique about this individual, he was the first, one of the 3 frayers that came after Tenochtitlan fell. And there was 2 other frayers, missionaries, that went with Cortez to what we know as now today as El Salvador, or the Central America. Those fools died over there. They got killed. But the fraile that stayed in Tenochtitlan, he started to figure out he learned language. He learned Nahuatl. He also started to implement some of the teaching skills that the Mexicas had applied from their schools, but saw that it wasn't working to indoctrinate these indigenous people, these noble indigenous people, like the kids that come from high nobility. They were pretty much kidnapped by this fucking dude.
Shit.
And supposedly he was loved, but I don't know who the fuck would love somebody that will steal your kid. You know what I mean?
Damn, yeah, exactly
So-
right. Damn, pretty interesting. Yeah,
You barely
So he
came
made-
across this?
Nah, it's been a couple years back.
Oh,
So
okay.
he once he had gone, eventually he builds his indoctrination. It was la primera doctrina de Mexico in all of Latin America too, and you'll see like statues of him in Mexico City. Well, this fool will give his last name solely to men that went through his doctrina, and whatever. I don't know what would be the requirement to earn his name. I don't know if it's just heartfelt or whatever, but he would give his last name to noble Mexica people or people from Tenochtitlan. And when he gave their last name, if you don't know, you guys are familiar. I don't know if you ever really noticed, most last names of Mexico have a Z at the end of their names. Hernandez, Sanchez, Cortez, you know, etc., etc. My last name has a S because my parents, when they came here to the United States, they changed that Z to an S. I have no fucking idea, but they did it like that. So I've seen like documents where it changed, like my ancestors. Some knew how to write, some didn't, bro. You know?
I get you.
Damn.
So some of the shit got kind of changed. Like it went from Degante, fucking I don't like to say this one, but I'm gonna say it anyway. One of my ancestors wrote guante, fool, like the glove. You know?
Yeah.
So I've seen that, and then like some of them wouldn't even apply the dead part, you know. So that's why it turned into just gantes. But my original ancestor had de gantes because he went through the doctrina of that missionary.
Damn.
So that's
Crazy.
implicating that my ancestor highly came from Tenochtitlan. So I descend from those people out there, dog. I'm just trying to finish my genealogy to get to that point. Because if I get to that point and figure out that my ancestor was like, I don't know, maybe a Tlahtuani or some shit, I'll be able to fucking flex on everybody. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker.
That boost, the extra boost.
The
You
extra,
You're looking at an authentic Mexica.
yeah.
Fool, like, you know?
That's what I was gonna get to with the TikToker. They hate Mexica so much, and they hate Mayan so much, and that's why I call it the Zionist academia, because they want to divide. It's like, at what point, who taught you to hate these great civilizations? You know, because a lot of these
It's just envy, fool.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I bet you're a Chicano who thinks he's an Aztec, and I'm like, bro, even if you respect the history, even if you love history, if you're a history buff in Italy, you're gonna respect these great civilizations.
Well, I kind of want to say,
you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying. I don't want to take full credit of that, but I was a contribution into challenging that identity of Chicanoism. That's what I told you, bro. Like, there's a lot of motherfuckers out there that, like, I wouldn't go to Chicano Park, dog.
No, I know. I hear you. I get you. I get you. I hear you. I understand.
And I feel like ever since I might have been like one of the first fools that started saying that shit publicly, you know. And I'm pretty sure a lot of other people already thought about it, you know, beforehand. They just never said it. And it seems like when I started to say, I don't know if the fucking algorithm or whatever, but they gave me the impression that like some of these people fucking heard me, you know, and they started to put 1 and 1 and 2 and 2, and they're like, damn, this motherfucker's right. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to the thing with Mexicans, with how there's so many cultures in Mexico. Every part is different, right? But like I said, it goes back to the idea of you do need to unify people who don't have an identity. And I think the best way to unify them is through something very strong. And that's why I brought up Hitler earlier, because Hitler did that with his people, bro. Hitler's like, we have a bunch of people angry, and I'm gonna say, you guys are the Aryan race, you guys have all this history, and now we have a strong nation. So that's all I'm saying, is like, you have this great history and you're not utilizing it to connect people, you know. And that's all a great speaker does. That's all a wizard does. That's all a leader does, is you unify people through a great narrative, even if it's not true, because all the shit we're taught is not true anyways. You know, all the history where it's not true. Might as well give them strength. You know, might as well give people strength. And that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, if I gotta give flowers to Hitler, it would probably be just on the fact that he had a voice, bro.
And he
you know what I'm saying?
people who were angry and
even though it was not.
It might not be.
Pues a mí me vale madre, güey, que se maten a la verga ya, güey. La mera neta, you know, that Holocaust, bro. Yeah, what, like fucking, I don't know how many people, 2 million fucking Jews died or whatever.
200.
The big
175,000.
They're saying the 6 million is all propaganda.
Yeah. Who knows?
Okay, so however amount of fucking Jewish people they murdered in those camps ain't nothing to the biggest Holocaust
That's exactly
in human
what we're
history.
talking about. The
Which
Native
one?
American.
Oh, the Native
The
American.
Native
90%.
American.
90. Oh yeah, you were talking about that too.
How much is that? Like 100 million people?
Fuck no, way, no mames, güey. Chingal, cabrón. I think it was like around the 200 mark.
200 mark, yeah.
Fuck.
All the people that were here basically got fucking.
The ones that didn't really get it the most, fool, they got colonized too. But South America, nah.
Oh,
I
200
think was
million? 200 million?
near, yeah, 200 million. But
The Spaniards and what?
then the English
everybody.
and the French, the British, those fools. But yeah, it's the biggest fucking Holocaust in human history, and it's the biggest cover up in human history
and
too.
they didn't want. Hollywood did not want to make a movie about it. Even I posted a video the other day of Marlon Brando saying, he's like, I wanted to make a movie. I already had the script. I had everything. And then Hollywood was like, nah, we're not gonna do this. And it's because they always. I think this is why I think if you look at the White House, it's white Europeans and then Jewish people. They have a symbiotic relationship. They both love money and power, and they, even if they don't like each other, they will both help each other maintain money and power, because if you scratch my back, I scratch your back, and so that's why they always come together. They're always
If I'm not mistaken, bro, Hitler pretty much tried to take out the Jews from within their country, bro,
and replace
like
them.
because they saw they were putting influences and things of that nature, kind of like trying to overthrow just exactly what's happening with fucking Israel with fucking Palestine, you know?
Yeah, exactly that.
But so that's what they were trying to do, and this fool was like, fuck that, you know, we're the native people of this land,
Yeah,
create a narrative and then unify people, and that's the power of speaking.
Yeah.
The wizard, basically,
He
bro.
became a wizard, and you know why? Because I think he was.
And then it was I mean, it's a crazy history, bro. But
Yeah.
I honestly don't really give a fuck about those fools, because I like. I'm being genuine, because it's like, why would I care or have empathy or sympathy for somebody that I know damn well doesn't have sympathy or empathy for my people and our struggle?
Well, to be fair, not to say that I support them, but to be fair, the German people actually they worship the Native American. They had a lot of.
Oh yeah, I've seen some shit on there.
Oh, yeah, 'cause they had,
they thought it was a very pure race, so they're like, these are like really strong beings, and they have a lot of articles and comic books.
It was probably
Even all the instruments, they copied the Mexicans and Native Americans, bro. If you see their instruments in Germany, they have the same thing,
Oh,
bro.
they
You know,
mix
a
them
bunch of
up,
things.
yeah.
They're influenced by them, bro.
we're influenced one another.
Yeah,
They had a certain respect to that, and I think there's a certain purity, and I guess it is true, like the native blood and the phenotype, the genetics, there is a certain purity to it, because it's like untouched. And even artists,
And with all due respect, bro, I don't have no problem with it, but just so you know, I've used the word purity, and I've seen people get all fucking, oh, you can't say that word, da, da, da. So they say use full bloodness or fullness.
oh, okay, yeah. People get
Because people get all worked up. Last time,
that's just what they said though in these.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what they spoke.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just gonna give you, you know, that's my experience with that shit. You know, I posted an AI photo the other day. It was out of curiosity with like that chat GPT or whatever, and some people were like, "You're wasting water and this and that." I was all like, "Fool, we're all using AI."
Nobody's gonna be happy ever, bro.
Yeah, they're always gonna be fucking haters.
I'm like, relax. It's just a photo. That cost this and this and that. Just selfish still. And I was like, even regardless if you were just doing curiosity, I was like, what the fuck? We all using AI. Like when you go to Google search, Google search gives us AI.
Yeah.
Even here on IG and TikTok, they're all all these companies are all using AI, dog.
Yeah, fucking
Every time you're
haters,
using
yeah.
Google, it's like you're using it.
The
You
haters,
might not have a photo of it, but you're using it.
yeah.
That's a fact
All these
right there,
fucking
man.
haters will be bitching about something. Oh, I don't like the color of that shirt. Oh, your fucking hair is like this and that. And nah, you never. But you just block them out, bro.
Yeah,
Fuck them.
you're never
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
make
yeah.
anybody happy, and I think that's something we accept too. And
Well, it's a mental health issue, fool. There's
Mental
people
health
out there. They like I have my issue too, though, but sometimes those motherfuckers make me feel like I'm normal, dude.
yeah,
Like,
Oh,
you know, it has to take some type of mental health issue to be waking up every fucking morning to try to make a random person on the internet have a bad day or feel
oh
miserable.
hell yeah, that's yeah.
damn.
And then if you're like fixated with a specific person on the internet and you're doing all of that, that's a mental health issue, dog. That's obsession and whatever it may be after that.
Yep.
I'm not a fucking
Psychologist.
I'm not a psychologist to be able to diagnose it, but
Yeah.
that's not normal, fool. That's not healthy.
Definitely
You know
not
what I mean?
normal.
Like,
Yeah,
you know, like, fool, I wake up in the morning, me vale madre with what people are doing. There's things that I agree, there's things that I don't agree with, like, you know, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to be like, you're like, you know, to start attacking them,
Yeah.
like,
Just
just
wake up
because.
wake up and fucking be angry at the world or what, man?
I'm trying to have a tranquilo life, bro. Trying to
Hell
enjoy
yeah,
it as
hell
much as,
yeah.
you know, enjoy life with the cards that I was given, so to say, you know. But
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I'm trying to make the best of it.
So what we're gonna end it off on? Do you have any kind of like feedback for people going through that kind of struggle or whatever kind of hardships that you feel like you can speak on?
Like what? Like mental
how
health?
do you think what's helping you right now or things like that?
Well, since I go with like severe anxiety, depression, I'm agoraphobic. I've told you before.
Oh, okay.
I have PTSD. Yeah, and I don't know if this is a chronic issue, but I have a thing called depersonalizations, which is a fucking shitty experience, bro. Like, it fucking sucks. I don't know if you ever experienced this shit, but it's as if your, so to say, your alma or your spirit comes out of your body, and it feels like it's just kind of like floating behind you, and there's just like this sense of like, it's just it's a fucking terrible experience, bro. I fucking hate it. It sucks.
I heard about it.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Damn, it's crazy.
That shit sucks, bro.
Damn.
You know, some people are saying, some religious people have told me in my lifetime, like, oh, it's because you're not strong with God and your spirit wants to leave your temple.
No,
These,
You know, like,
you seen the dumbest shit
Just say
sometimes,
whatever,
bro.
huh?
Yeah, they'll be saying weird ass shit, but
yeah, but I mean, yeah, that's my life experience, bro, and
Well-
I try to keep it together.
I went through a similar thing too. I went through a phase back in the day, like when
¿Cuándo vamos a acabar, güey?
I know. I just wanted to
For
add a
real,
little bit.
bro.
Add a little note. I'll add a little note. So I went through a
Ya no
similar
voy a decir
thing.
nada, güey, but
Yeah.
I hear you.
I went through a similar thing back in the day. You know, I think I just mentioned it earlier, where we kind of went off track with our first podcast, but blah blah blah.
Mhm.
But basically, my answer to that, like I said, bro, I just sat in the fucking. There's a point in time where I ended a long-term relationship, but blah blah blah, like almost 7 years, and
Yeah.
then there's nowhere else to go. You know, I reached almost like a peak of life, and there's nowhere else to go, and there's nothing else that's gonna fulfill me. So I just sat in the room and I'll just allow it all to feel and just breathe, and little by little I'll just do that every day, and for whatever reason that kind of freed me every single time. So every time I felt that, I'll just sit. And
That's
breathe.
that's what worked for you. You know, I think
Yeah.
a lot of people's coping mechanisms, it's various, bro. As long as it's not in a substance use, like, you're good.
exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of people that rely into substances, you know, alcohol and
Yep.
various things, right? And that's obviously not a good thing at all.
Definitely.
Yeah, but you got to start somewhere, and I think you got to go. The most simple thing you could do: be with yourself, get in touch with the elements, with the sun, with all that kind of
All
shit.
nature.
Be outside, and I think that's the most simple thing to get you back into a rhythm, at least in tune with nature, at least, you know. But but yeah, you got anything?
No, well, if you want to shout out your Instagram, and your book again? You're good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, all right, for sure. Yeah, but it was a great conversation, and we're for sure gonna have part 2 on this.
Yeah, we have to tap back in.
Because we're
I
about.
feel like we'll go like 5 different.
We could go like
directions.
another good fucking 3 hours.
I know.
Yeah.
But we definitely enjoyed talking to you, bro, and thank you for giving us the opportunity and to be a part of your life and your channel.
This ain't no opportunity, dog. I'm just showing love, fool. Like I told you earlier, I like to look for community. But I don't know, me cayeron bien, güey. Dije, como...
That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
likewise, man. Likewise, yeah.
You seem like a good guy, bro. You seem like a good guy, and bro, I hope everything works out for you with what you're going through, and as good.
Yeah,
as
I'm gonna be buying a motorcycle. It's a beater, fool. It's all beat the fuck up, But I don't know, have nothing, no skills, no auto technician. Well, I do have some auto technician skills, but not with a motorcycle, right? So I'm gonna learn how to fix that shit, bro. And just
Drive
fuck
up the
everything
coast.
else. Fool,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a nutty fucking thing. You guys might see me in a high-speed chase in the future. I'm gonna put a big old banner in the back of the motorcycle that's gonna say fucking like mental health awareness.
Yeah.
Y me voy a pelar la verga, güey.
You'll be good, man.
Either I go out in the blaze of glory, or I make it in Mexico.
or both.
Yeah.
Nah, but I gotta bring that shit up, bro. Like, what the fuck? They always give mental health issues to white people that shoot up schools and public masses.
There you go.
Like, they ain't the only ones with issues. But
Nah,
that's a whole nother
right.
topic, dog.
Yeah. But
You're right.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well.
Man, we could go forever. This was a great conversation, bro.
Yeah. But I'm gonna anyways, peace out, everybody. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, comment, like, do all that good stuff. We're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and the homiest too. So we'll see you on the next one. There's gonna be part 2 for sure. Peace.
All right. Gracias.
Foo-ology Podcast, support independent media. Link is in the bio. Here it is. Foo-ology Podcast. Peace.